Sheikh Fahad? I always get confused. Like, do I go Sheikh Fahad? Do I just go Fahad? I'm gonna go Fahad here, right? Are we good with that?
Yeah, Jonathan, you're a friend of mine, so it's Fahad. Yeah.
Okay, good. I guess it's Mister-ish, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right, perfect. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's Breeders' Cup week. It's a fun week. You got a lot going on. We all got a lot going on during the Breeders' Cup. But I do, before we get started, want to thank you. We thank you all the time on the show, but thank you and Qatar Racing for supporting the podcast. We really appreciate it, and it's been a lot of fun, and we'll continue through this year, and hopefully we can keep it rolling through next year. What I always start when I talk to people is, how did you find this game? What brought you to racing?
Well, I've grown up with horse racing. My father had horses, but they were the Arabian horses.
Yeah.
And I didn't really particularly like racing Arabian horses. They're very slow. They're not very genuine. So I went to study in England, and when I was studying in England, I was like every Saturday watching races on TV. Just got me caught into it, and thought, okay, let me just do a little bit research myself and see if I like it or not. And it's such a different game to the races that I've grown up with, the Arabian horses. I mean, it's mind-opening to see how better it is. So yeah, after I graduated, I thought I'll get a few horses and see how it goes.
I saw you say somewhere that like you were at the beginning, you saw how easily your father won so many races all the time, and then did it take you a little while to realize like it's not as easy as it was for him?
Well, it's different. That's very funny, because in the Arabian racing world, he was the Coolmore, Judmont, Godolphin, everyone combined. That's how strong he was. So it was like winning every Grade 1 easily. So I thought, yeah, it'll be the same when you go to thoroughbreds, but it's a huge different world. We're very lucky to have had great success early on in our life, but it's different. It's a different world. It's much harder.
So you started with Pearl Bloodstock, right? That was you by yourself?
Correct.
And then the brothers came in, and that's when you transitioned to Qatar Racing?
Exactly. So I started Pearl Bloodstock myself. We were very lucky. We had Duna didn't win a Melbourne Cup in the second year. We had Lightning Pearl win at Cheveley Park in the first or second year as well. So, off the bat we were winning big races. But then we had the big lull after that to go and win other races. It takes time. But my brothers enjoyed watching me do Pearl Bloodstock, and so they thought, let's all combine together. So that's when we formed Qatar Racing, Qatar Bloodstock, and we've enjoyed plenty of success, and hopefully more to come.
So whose idea was it? Was like a thing like, hey guys, I need to talk to you. I got this idea. It'd be fun if we all did it together. Or did they just kind of come to you and they're like, hey Fahad, this looks fun. Can we get involved? Which way was it?
Yeah, no, it was them coming to me. I was quite happy when they came to me. I said, as long as you let me run it for you, that'll be fine. They said, yeah, go ahead. And they've enjoyed it immensely. And so it's quite nice to see that they're getting pleasure out of it.
How many runners do you feel like you have a week? Because I know that, obviously we pay attention the most often in this country to the ones you have running here. And I feel like I look up all the time and see your silks, whether it's in partnership or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then also, you're in Australia and Japan and Europe. How many do you think you have in a week?
I'd say probably about averaging 6-7 runners a week. I mean, it's very hard. I haven't actually thought about it that way. It's good. It's a very good question to put up.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night if you're in a time zone crunch?
Oh, yes.
You set the alarm?
100%.
And wake up?
100%. And the best thing is we've got a very good crew back home. Bryony Rusbridge in the office, she is amazing. We've got our own app, so I've got all the runners that are going to run, the times they're going to run, they're all on the app, so I can set my alarms towards that and wake up and see them. Like for instance, now we'll have Breeders' Cup runners and we'll have a Melbourne Cup runner as well, so that's quite exciting, but the time difference is not easy.
Melbourne Cup. I've always wanted to go. I've heard it's like a lot of fun, and eventually in this conversation I'll kind of ask you to kind of, in your mind, what event you kind of pulls you to the top, whether it's, Ascot or Breeders' Cup or Pegasus or Melbourne Cup. But an insider told me that there's a funny story behind when you won the Melbourne Cup. how you decided to get the trophy back.
That's a very good very good story. Well, I didn't realize we didn't realize. So start off with me and David Red was my racing manager. He's the of the whole operation. We went out there. I think I was 20 or 21 years old, still early in the race. That was Pearl Bloodstock. We went out there not really expecting, to win or anything, but not expecting how big the Melbourne Cup is. And when we got there, we were told like everyone had a speech prepared if they won. I had nothing prepared, but I said I'm not going to prepare anything. It's bad luck. Let's just go for it. Won the race, but didn't just win the race. It was a photo finish for 15 minutes between our horse and Red Cadeau. And I remember Ed Dunlop, the trainer of Red Cadeau, was standing next to me, and he said to me, "Would you take a dead heat now?" And on all photos and races I've watched all of my life, the one that comes from the outside with the bigger head coming down on the wire is usually the winner, which was Red Cadeau. So I was more than happy to take a dead heat at that stage. Just before shaking on a dead heat, they announced that we won. So poor Ed was a little bit disappointed with that. But no, going back to the trophy, to get the trophy out of the country. So they don't tell you that the trophy itself is worth about, I think, 250,000 because it's pure gold or something like that. So when we heard that, it's like, okay, we have to. I said, David, we need to do something. How can we get this with us? And we were coming to America for the Breeders' Cup because we had a runner in the Breeders' Cup for our first runner in the Breeders' Cup back then. So we went on the flight, and everyone on the flight, I put it on the carry-on, and everyone on the flight recognized that we won the Melbourne Cup. So we couldn't even see in the plane because everyone wanted to take a picture with the Melbourne Cup. So we had to do the rounds up and down the plane, which was quite funny. But yeah, we managed to smuggle it in.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. What were your silks like at Pearl?
So yellow and blue stars.
Okay.
And I still run them in Japan. So Japan are the horses that run in Japan are under Pearl Bloodstock.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I love. I'm a silks guy. I don't know why. I love silks, and bad silks drive me insane.
Yeah.
But I think that the Qatar silks are great. Right. You guys call it claret, that color.
Yeah.
So claret with the gold. Did you go back and forth on designing those, or was it pretty? Did it make a lot of sense? Because the flag, right? The flag is that color or similar?
So the flag is, it's a maroon color, so it's similar. But yeah, no. So me and my brother sat down and we designed a new set of silks because I thought it would be nicer to have everyone's input and what they wanted. And we came up with I think a great design. I'm glad that you like them. They are quite unique, to be honest.
They're just classic, right? It's just like nice and like just simple silks. Or really wild ones are what work for me, but not too crazy. Just like I liked American Pharaohs. I didn't have a problem with those. I thought those were cool. I think China Horse Clubs are cool, and I love my dear friend, and I know you've partnered with Bob Edwards. I love the E5 silks. So it depends, but sometimes just like the solid, sharp, clean. I like those just as much. So, you Google your name and you look at a YouTube page. I forget all the time. And it almost feels like it's like AI or something, that you're in silks as if you just got done riding. And I was like, wait a second. I forgot that you did ride at one point. At what point of your journey in horse racing did that come up? Like, were you, did you already own horses at that point before you started riding? And you just said, this is what I want to do. Tell me about that decision.
It's quite funny, actually. So yeah, no, I owned horses first. And then I think about 4 or 5 years into it, one of our racing managers, Peter Maloney, said he was going to ride in a charity race 6 months, 7 months down the line. So I said, if you're doing it, I'm doing it as well. And at that stage, I didn't even know how to ride a horse, really. So it was baptism of fire. Like I said, and when I put my head into something, like I want to do this, I'm going to do this. I said, this is happening. So anyways, I had good training. I fell a lot on the gallops, left, right, and center, but managed to still get up and get on a horse. And luckily, I won 3 races out of 13 rides or something like that. So.
All jump though, right?
No,
Flat
race.
Flat.
Yeah, flat. But what they have in Europe that they don't have in America, they have charity races. So it's raising money for a good cause. Then you get to ride in a race, but you have to go through the whole process of going to the jockey school, getting licensed, getting fit, dropping your weight, assessments, and just to be safe to go on. And it is quite fun to actually go into the races and give it a good go.
Did you? I mean, I would imagine all of us as horse racing fans. I've always thought like how exciting it would be and how much fun it would be to sit on a horse's back. Is it everything?
It is everything and more. I mean, the thrill, the rush of it. You don't get driving a Ferrari. You don't get doing anything else. It's when you're in between horses. Hooves on top of hooves, and everyone's like on top of each other. That feeling, the rush you get, it's unbelievable.
So when you decided you wanted to do this, you said you had 6 months to kind of get your mind right and
probably get in shape, drop a lot of weight.
Drop weight. What was if you were training for a celebrity boxing match or something, you'd go to the gym every day and you'd box, and what did you do to get where you could learn how to ride a horse?
So I had to do two things. One, learn how to ride a horse, and B, drop the weight, and they have to be at the same time. So I devised my own nutrition plan, which is really bad, to be honest. I used to wake up in the morning, have half a piece of toast with a little bit of peanut butter, nothing else, not just black coffee. Drive about an hour and a half to. I used to have a little farm in Surrey where I trained horses. Ollie Stevens trained for me, where Peace and War won the Alcibiades from there. So I used to go there and with the Hetta Stevens, his ex-wife, to try and learn. She taught me how to ride horses there. So I do 2-3 lots there, drive back, no lunch, have a little protein bar, go to the gym, do about an hour in the cross trainer, an hour and a half in the cross trainer, go into the steam room, do another 15-20 minutes in the steam. And that was 6 months straight without no deviation.
Every day?
Every day, same food, same thing. And for my dinner, I would have had a small grilled salmon with boiled vegetables. Every day, the same routine. Not one day changed. 6 months straight. And I got to the right weight and about 5 days before the race.
Oh, my goodness. Where did you start at? What did you get to, weight-wise?
In stones, I don't know how much it's.
I'm bad at stones.
We used to have to ride in stones. I'll give you. So I think I was about like 17 stone, and I had to drop all the way down to 11.5 stone.
Oh my gosh!
I think it 14 pounds a stone. So
yeah. So did you like? And when you were done, you were like, "All right, I'm done. Steak. Give me where's the chicken? Where's the
after the races?
Yeah.
Oh, so Domino's was my go-to. Once I finish a race, I have to have a Domino's pizza. That's the one thing I kept going after.
So did you have to? Was that all in like a short time when you won those races, or did you like maintain that for a while?
I maintained it for, I think it was 2 or 3 years.
Oh my God.
I did 2 or 3 years. Yeah, and I think I was told by everyone in the operation that they'd leave if I didn't stop, because I was getting very cranky. So either your racing career or us.
I can imagine. I've talked. Richie Migliore talks about being hangry all the time, and when you don't, and the thing for them is,
you see the size difference. I mean,
well, the other part too is you don't have to be hangry.
No,
it's
exactly.
Like, he was riding to feed his family. You got other things going on. You didn't have to necessarily be doing it.
No. But it was to be honest, it was a thrill of a lifetime, and I enjoyed every minute of it, immensely. And it gave me a huge understanding about watching races when my jockeys ride, where you get to figure out who's making more mistakes than not, who's things that you couldn't see before.
Yeah,
I see now.
So now I was going to ask you, are you easier on your riders because of that, or do you think maybe you're harder on your riders because of that?
I think I'm. You got to ask you got to ask the jockeys, but I think I'm very easy with all of our riders. I mean, we're blessed. I've got Oisin Murphy as my first jockey back home, and Kieran Fallon as a second jockey, and both of them are champion jockeys. Oisin Murphy is a champion jockey. Kieran is a champion apprentice. They rarely make mistakes. I don't give any instructions. I don't think the trainers give them any instructions anymore. They just put them on and let them ride their races. Over here we're blessed. We've got Tyler riding a lot for us here. He's fantastic. Louis Sayers, Irad. You can't, when you go to the top jockeys, they rarely make mistakes.
So we don't really do that much over here where there's like a contract jockey. How does that work? And would you or have you tried to do it here?
No, we haven't tried to do it over here because it's, as you said, it's not something done over here. It's back home. It is because we've got probably about 80 horses in training in the UK, and they're all in different yards. They don't train on the racetrack. They train from either Newmarket or in different stables. So it's all about continuity.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's something that's always been done in Europe, that if you have a big stable, that you kind of have a jockey. And Oisin Murphy came in when he was an apprentice. I think he was 18 or 17 with us, and he grew up with us. Before he even ever won a Grade 1, he was with us. So
one thing that I realized that we had in common is our love for Kitten's Joy. Here at Breeders' Cup, one of my favorite races was in 2014 when Bobby's Kitten won down the hill. But you've had two really good Kitten's Joys in Kameko, is that what
Kameko, yeah.
Kameko and Roaring Lion. Tell me a little bit about how those two horses, in any order, how do they come to you?
Well, David Redvers and Hannah Wall, I think they're the best experts about Kitten's Joy. They found the two best ones, in my opinion. I think many people would say they probably are, two of the best that he's ever had. We had first Roaring Lion. He went to John Gosden, and his 2-year-old career, there's a lot of ability there, but John managed to harness that ability. He could have gone one way or the other in terms of, he had a lot of character, but everything came to him easily, that he just was thinking about other things in life rather than concentrating on his races. John managed to get him right, and he had one of the best 3-year-old careers, winning all the Grade 1s that he did. He is a fantastic horse, and it's a real sad loss to our operation to have lost him after one crop of yearlings, which they've done magnificently on the racetrack. Kameko, I think, I'm hoping that he'd even be better than Roaring Lion, because I think he was a bit more precocious as a 2-year-old. He won the Futurity in Newcastle and won it very well. He won the Guineas, 2,000 Guineas, the fastest 2,000 Guineas ever in history, which is amazing in its own right. He's got the right conformation, and all of his babies have been selling well. So, I'm looking forward to next year. Next year, this is the acid test when they start running.
When you were coming to meet to do this, you were behind like 10 minutes, and I texted you and I said I was worried. I thought maybe Coolmore kidnapped you or something. Do you guys? It feels like over there it's like the big four. You guys are always banging heads with each other. You, Godolphin, Coolmore, Juddmonte. Do you root for them? Do you not root for them?
No. We definitely root for each other. No, we root for. I mean, if I had a runner in the race, then I want my horse to win, yeah, for sure. But no, we have a. I think all these operations have a great working relationship. I mean, we need each other. Everyone needs each other. In this game, you can't make it on your own. Everyone needs each other. They've been supportive of us. We've been supportive of them. Which makes the game keep going. To be honest, there's no way you can just me. No, that doesn't work.
Tell me a little bit about the Mongolian Derby. I got some inside info on that as well.
Well, it was another crazy idea that we came up with, and so it's a 1,000-kilometer race in Mongolia, and I thought it'd be a great idea to try and go there and try it. So we went, me, David, and a few of our friends went there, and oh my God, it was an experience of a lifetime. Mongolia is one of the prettiest countries in the world, but these ponies were unbroken ponies, and we had to ride them for for 40 kilometers at a time without knowing where we're going. They give you a little GPS, but it's like you have to go up this big mountain, the other side, no one around you, no help. It wasn't easy. It's like, I think you finish it in like 7-8 days. I fell on the 5th day, broke my back in the middle of nowhere, and it took them about 3 hours to find me. And I had a cracked back. They had to get me in a car for over 15 hours on bumpy roads just to get back into town to get an MRI and X-ray. So and they tell you beforehand. They say to you, so 40 riders starts. They say at least 50% of you would not finish, and maybe 20% of you will have serious life injuries, and you have to sign your life away before you go in there. That there's no responsibility. But it was a great experience, and maybe you should give it a go.
No, he lost me at 50% of you won't finish. Well, what's the point of trying? And you broke your back. Have you always been like a thrill seeker like that?
Yes, I like challenging myself. So usually every year or two, I like to come up with a challenge and get a few friends of mine and say, okay, here, let's go. We try this and do this and that. One year it was running the London Marathon. So back in the day, so I told a few of my trainers that they have to join up, and we did it for Racing Welfare, a charity back in England, to help people in racing that need help when they're down. It's a fantastic organization. So we raised a lot of money for it, but I made so Richard Hannon, Andrew Balding, all of them went in, and I said you have to come. It's not by choice. I tell you, that was the worst challenge I've put myself into.
Did you finish the race?
Yeah, but it's like I finished when they were sweeping the floors after me.
Of all the races you've been involved with, what was your favorite? What's your favorite race? It doesn't have to be the biggest, but just the race that, like, if I said, Fahad, you get to watch one more race on YouTube, what's the one you're gonna watch?
To be honest, the one I'd say the one I've most watched on YouTube
that works.
Would be the Melbourne Cup for sure.
Yeah.
Because I didn't appreciate it when I was there at that time, because I think I was young, early in this game. I was about 20, 21, so like haven't really figured out racing properly yet. And trying to replicate that, we've had no success since Dunedin won. Like that's a race I'd like to win again. And this year we have a chance. Hopefully, we'll see if Valiant King, one of Roaring Lion's sons, goes and does the business there.
What was the one race that you felt like got away from you? The one that the worst photo beat? The one that if this one would have happened, it could have changed all these other things? What's the one that you look back on and you're like, I need that one back?
I could answer that in a little bit of a different way, but I think Roaring Lion's Derby, when he ran in the Epsom Derby, I really thought he'd go and win that race, and he came to the 2-pole, 1.5 pole, cantering. Everyone else was off the bridle. I thought, here we go, like this is is gonna go and get it done. But unfortunately, he just didn't stay. It's not in his stamina to stay a 1.5 miles. We knew this afterwards, but it was a good try. So yeah, I got a bit emotional. Like you watch the race and you think, okay, that's, if you watch the race, you'll see, like you'll be like, okay, yeah, you'd pick him out of the 2-pole as the winner.
Yeah.
And then like that kind of a bit of it's fine. It is what it is. But I don't think there was any race that, if this happened, this would have changed life, career, or something like that.
Yeah.
No, we're still young. There's plenty of time to go and hopefully win all the races we need to win.
What kind of rooter are you when you're watching a race? Are you loud? Are you quiet? Are you a banger? Do you get excited? Do you fist pump? Are you calm?
I used to be very nervous and very, watching the races, but I've learned how to deal with my, I'm a little bit less nervous now, more excited. Depending on the race, yes, sometimes a bit of a loud shouter, but most of the time I think I hold my cool.
Are you if you just get snapped on the wire, do you need a couple minutes, or can someone come up and talk to you about where you're going for dinner, or do you need some time to cool off?
Well, I'd say something. I'd say probably cool off, but depending on the grade of the race. If we're talking a claimer, we go to dinner straight away. If it's
Yeah, it's like my wife. I've had to teach my wife that like once a race is over, I can talk,
yeah.
but I don't want to talk about what just happened.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? We can talk, I can talk about something else, but like she'll you know, are you okay? Yeah, no. I'm okay.
You're absolutely right. Like even with my jockeys, even with Oshin. So me and Oshin have a very good relationship where when he rides a race, you know, he'll talk to me afterwards. Either sometimes we'd have bred that horse, like we'd have the dam. Sometimes, you know, we'd have buy that horse or something like that. So he'll tell me, he'll be honest with me on his opinion about what to do, which helps me plan for the future, not just for that horse, for other things. But he won't call me like straight away and say, oh yeah, this. No, like the next day he'll give me a call and say, yeah, boss, this we should, I should. I know she is very good. He put his hand up and say, yeah, I messed up. I should have won. I did this wrong. Or he could say like, the horse is no good. I don't think he's good, which is, to be honest, is good for a jockey to be like that. So I tend to try and wait till the next day before making judgments.
I would think that like the relationship you have with Oshin and like the way that he's the contract rider, I think that he probably gets to feel a little bit more comfortable in making a mistake, as if he's not going to get fired.
Oh, for sure.
Like he's not going to get taken off if he makes a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times with some of these riders in the U.S., I think they make mistakes trying not to make mistakes, in the fear of getting taken off of a horse or whatever it might be. So, I mean, I think that makes a ton of sense. We're 362 days away, or we're at the 362-day mark of Caravel winning the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. And we've talked about this before. I was a year late. I said after she won at Saratoga 2 years prior to you owning her, I said she was going to win the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. And then she didn't.
I'm glad that you were right.
Yeah. And then she goes off at what, 40? Was she 42 to 1?
I think she was 42 on, yeah.
So here's the thing. You're a race watcher, a race rider as well. You have to tell me the truth. You did not think she was going to make the lead. Everyone thought Golden Pal was going to make the lead.
Yeah.
Did you that morning wake up and say, I think she can win and here's how it can happen?
In all honesty, yes. We all thought, we didn't go there thinking we're just an also right. We thought that she is going to go and hopefully win. I mean, she was training tremendous. Brad had a lot of confidence in her. Fergus Galvin had a lot of confidence in her. We watched her train. She was blossoming at the right time. Now, Golden Pal was a different, kettle of fish. It was going to be very hard to beat him. But our plan was, we knew she jumps well, and we knew she jumps very fast from the gate. Our plan was to sit behind him and pounce, hopefully get the first run on him, and just see if we can get it done. I mean, all of that went out of the window and he didn't break, but we broke very well. So I think Tyler straight away did the right thing in his head. She loves Keeneland. We know she loves Keeneland. Got to the lead, easy enough lead. Kicked at the bend, and I was just worried for a little bit when I saw Ryan Moore go up his inside there. I said, if you get beat with letting somebody up your inside now, that would have been that might have got me a bit upset.
When she made the lead, I looked down and I said, oh no, it's Caravel, and I didn't have, I was just like, she's gonna potentially wire this field. And then let's fast forward to this year. I thought she won the Breeders' Cup last year, but this is arguably one of her best years. She doesn't like it soft, I don't think.
No, you're 100% right. And we all put our hand up. We made a mistake. Saratoga race, she should have never run on that soft ground. But we knew afterwards, and now after knowing, hindsight is very good. But yeah, we're humans. We all make mistakes. She doesn't like soft ground. She loves fast ground. That's her ideal condition. Which I'm very hopeful that she'll get over here. She won the Jaipur it's not easy to win the Jaipur. She won the Jaipur. She did, her race in Keeneland last out. She ran a really, really good race. Unfortunately, I just think the race scenario didn't really suit when two horses went, I'd say, 3 furlong pace instead of, they went crazy fast to start off with. No horse could stand that and finish a race, and she was one off behind them, made her a target for the winner coming into the straight. At the end of the day, that wasn't her, main target. The main target is over here in the Breeders' Cup. So nothing for us. Look, she ran well. She came out of the race in good order, healthy, happy, and she's even blossomed again. Speaking to Brad, as I'm sure you've seen his interview, he thinks she's working better than ever.
Well, it's funny. That's what I said. Someone asked me about her, and I said. There's no way that Brad would have fully cranked her up for a race that is insignificant when there's a really significant race 3 weeks later. 100%. Treat it like a work. Just let her go over there, and if she gets beat, who cares?
100%.
This is the race that matters. I think she's going to run extremely well. There's some other pace in there. We talked about this. This won't air before the Breeders' Cup. This is just you and I talking. Yeah. Call your shot on what the trip is. What's the plan?
So I think the English horse,
Living the Dream. Yeah.
I think he surprised me a lot when you know how it is. American horses are very fast from the gates. You don't, compared to European horses, it's like, in my opinion, it's at least 3 lengths.
Yeah.
In any race, it's 3 lengths. Your horses in America, so American horses are faster by 3 lengths. When he came to run in Keeneland, I didn't think he would be able to, lead them, and I was surprised that he did. So, I think he's drawn one outside of us. I think he'll go, and we'll probably sit behind him. I think we'll have the perfect trip, hopefully, going into the bend when everyone's, holds their posse. He's going to be in front of us. We're going to just be behind him, and hopefully Tyler can peel out at the, just on the bend and let her go. And when she starts rolling on that fast track, it's going to be very hard to peg back.
This her last race?
Yes. She's going to the sale.
To the sale and at Fasig, the Fasig.
No, Keeneland.
Keeneland.
Sorry.
Well,
it's the last race. Well, depending on who buys her, maybe they will.
Yeah, maybe they'll give it another run. Nakatomi, another one that you have. You smiled when I said Nakatomi.
Yeah, because going back with Nakatomi is another funny story there. So Fergus Galvin found the horse, bought him, and he said to me, I think you should have this, buy into this horse to go to Royal Ascot as a 2-year-old. So okay, fantastic. Wesley has him, so that sounds great. Oisin was our contract rider, so I told Oisin, you have to ride our horse. And he wasn't very. He said yes, boss, no problem. But you could feel that he was a little bit timid because Andrew Balding had won for the late Queen in the race, which he would have ridden because he rides for Andrew Balding. He's basically his jockey. He made him, so whatever Andrew has, Oisin gets first call on. We made him ride Nakatomi. He didn't like the grass, and who gets to win the race? So he wasn't very happy with, especially with Fergus for a bit. So he wasn't talking to him for a bit. But hey, that's life.
He'll be all right.
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
No, but coming back to Nakatomi, I honestly think he's gonna run big here. I like how the race is gonna set up for him. I mean, there is plenty of pace. I think he's gonna sit off the pace, and in Keeneland, I think he's improved a bit in Keeneland, and Wesley thinks he's gonna improve again. He knows Santa Anita well because Wesley brought him last year here for a long time, and now this year again. So I think he might just outrun his odds, and I hope so because it's the race we sponsor.
That'd be perfect, right?
It'd be nice to get back our money.
Are you gonna hand yourself the trophy?
got two hands, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Do your brothers ever come, or do they always just watch from a distance?
No, they come sometimes, but they have a lot of business, commitments. My eldest brother Sheikh Fahad went to the Breeders' Cup in Keenan, not the last one, the one before.
Okay.
And he absolutely loved it. He said to me, because that was his first experience of American racing, and he was thrilled about it. So it's good for them to see different things. My other brother came to a Breeders' Cup in Santa Anita a few years back. So they do come when they can.
Look, I love the Breeders' Cup everywhere. Yeah. I really do. I don't care where it's at. I've always enjoyed it. Whether it's at Del Mar, whether it's at Churchill, it's fine. Yeah. I'm good. I just like it a little bit more here. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Clocker's Corner in the morning. It's like where it's a natural morning situation, not a temporary chalet, and it's the mountains in the background, and I love it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. As you see, it's beautiful.
Would you have run Caravel if the turf's down the hill? If the turf sprint was down the hill?
Yes.
I think she would have done really well.
100%. I have nothing against the down the hill turf.
I love it.
We've got a runner running in the last race, the undercard last race on Saturday, down the hill. So
it's my favorite race. It's my favorite. I love it. I love it so much. So those are the Breeders' Cup runners, but the other exciting horse in the stable at the moment, he's a funny horse to me because Fergus got him beat first out. I tell Fergus all the time, Fergus, you got him beat first out, because he told me, he's like, this horse can't lose. This horse is so good. He was touting the horse.
He's touting the whole world. His brothers, I think his brother and his sister flew in from Ireland. They went to Aqueduct in the cold there as well to try and watch it. I mean, it was dedication, but I think in fairness, I think Fergus did an unbelievable job in finding the horse.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first time around when I think it was the two groups, China Horse Club and Gandalfi, had a partnership, and they bought a few horses together, and they spent 800 on him or something like that, and then they had a big dispersal before the horses went to any trainers, and Fergus he rang me up, said to me, look, I think I found a horse that I like here, and into Mischief I want to play on. I said, yeah, go for it. If you think it's the right horse, then go for it. And my God, it's just, he is, as you said, I think he's one of my best horses.
Yeah, no, and I think I'm excited to see him, I'm excited to see him hopefully in a race, like the Malibu or something like that for 3-year-olds, 7 furlongs here the day after Christmas. But even more so, I'm excited to see him as a 4-year-old. He's one of those horses, like at this time of the year, where in my brain I start mentally checking, like, Met Mile. Like, if he improves and continues to grow up, like, he's perfect for that race. He's game, he's fast, the distance is there for him from a stamina standpoint. I mean, that, like, he's built so far, fingers crossed, knock on wood, for a race like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's, I think Brad's got him to the right regime, right program, where he's learned how to race. He was a little bit, the first couple of times, he was a little bit babyish with his racing, but now he's just putting it in. He's very professional. I thought the 49er race, he had every right to, not win that race when he got tackled before the bend. I was very impressed by the way he hit the line, and Christian came off the horse and said there's plenty to come from him as well.
Another exciting horse I almost forgot about that a friend of mine, a lot of my friends own, is you and Jake Ballas and Reagan Swinbank and Black Type Thoroughbreds with You Almost Had Me. She was outstanding at Keeneland.
Unbelievable. And it's funny because before the Keeneland race, I was after her last race, I was a little bit disappointed. But Brad, going into the Keeneland race, rang up, said, like, she is working really well. I mean, she's a standout, and we'll see how she goes. I think that was one of the best performances of any of our horses this year, really, like, that we have some involvement in. I can't wait to see her next year. Hopefully, please God, she might be a test filly or something like that.
Fahad, you mentioned the Queen in passing in a story earlier. I've also seen some articles. You've had some interactions with her in racing and all your interactions. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
It's amazing. God rest her soul. I mean, the first time I met her was at Windsor Palace for an Ascot dinner, and she asked to see me. And when I went up to meet her, she knew more about my horses than I did, which was it's just outstanding. She knew Dunedin, she knew Lightning Pearl. She caught me off guard there big time.
Yeah, I've heard that about the Queen, is that she really followed her racing. It was almost like not even a hobby for her. It was like a really a true passion, and she knew horses, she knew pedigree, she knew stallions, and that's pretty cool.
She definitely was. She knew she knew all her horses. She knew the mating. She did the matings for them. She was a very knowledgeable woman. God rest her soul.
Well, Fahad, I really do appreciate you taking the time. Like I said at the top, I appreciate the support of JK+1. It's been a fun season. We're looking forward to keeping it rolling, and we wish you the best of luck. Well, people are going to see this afterwards, so hopefully, hopefully, congratulations on Nakatomi or Caravel.
Yeah, your horse Caravel.
Yeah,
you said she's going to win a Breeders' Cup, so hopefully 2 Breeders' Cup now.
Yeah, that'd be back to back. I think there's going to be a couple of back to back champions. I think Caravel hopefully will be a back-to-back champion, and I think Elite Power is going to be a back-to-back champion.
Yeah.
If Nakatomi Nakatomi gets
don't worry, we're finishing second to Elite Power. I'm happy with that. We'll take that.
Hey, look, you said that'll get your money back for the sponsorship. Fahad, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks, Jakey.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but I like it's new what you're telling me.